Okay, everyone, we are continuing on with our notes for today, and I'm going to talk about the law of sines. So the law of sines simply relates the sine of an angle with the length of the side opposite the angle. And you see three proportions, or three fractions here all equal to each other, so it's kind of a hefty proportion. But you don't have to use all of it. You can just use part of it, and I'll show you what I mean as we do some examples. Also, sometimes you'll see it written in the other order. So A over sine A is equal to B over sine B, etc., etc. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Either one is fine, as long as if you put the sine on the top, you keep it sine on the top in all of your fractions, and vice versa. So let me show you a couple of examples here, and I'll do one the first way and one the second way so you can see. So the first example here, triangle ABC. Now, like I said, always, always, always draw yourself a picture, because that is going to be super helpful to you visually, so you can kind of see what's going on. So triangle ABC, side A, that's opposite angle A, that's going to be 10. Measure of angle A is 30, and the measure of angle B is 50, and it says to find B. Side B is opposite angle B. So as long as you have two angles and a side, as angle side angle or angle angle side, you can use the law of sines. Okay, so we have that in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and set it up. I've got the sine of 30 over 10 is going to equal the sine of 50. 50 over B. And then from there, in order to solve it, I'm simply going to cross multiply. So I have B sine of 30 is equal to 10 sine of 50. And so when I solve for B, I just have to divide both sides by sine of 30. So I'm doing 10 sine of 50 over sine of 30. And when you do this in your calculator, just be careful that you make sure you close your parentheses before you divide. Otherwise, it's going to give you the wrong answer. So I've got 10, and let me make sure my mode is right. Yep, it's in degrees. Okay, so I've got 10 sine of 50. Close your parentheses there, and then hit the division symbol, sine of 30. And that's going to give me B is 15.32 something something. So to the nearest integer, B is about 15. Okay, in the second example here, it says find E to the nearest tenth of a unit. So here's my triangle. Again, draw yourself a picture. It's going to make your life so much easier. DEF. Angle E is 21. Angle F is 48. And side D, which is opposite angle D, is 7.3. So if you notice in this first example, we had angle, angle, side. In the second example, we have angle, side, angle. So we have two examples here showing these two cases. Okay, so now I'm going to find E. This is what I'm trying to find. So I'll flip it around this time. So if I did E, whoops, it doesn't really look like an E there. So if I do E over the sine of 21 is equal to 7.3 over, Now what happens here, I don't have the angle that's opposite that side, right? However, I can still use the law of sines because I can find that angle, right? The angles of a triangle add up to 180. So if I just did 180 minus the sum of the other two angles, 21 plus 48. Right, that's going to give me 111. So this angle is going to be 111. And now I can use that to go ahead and solve the problem. Okay, so remember, when you're doing the law of sines, you need the angle and the side opposite it. In some cases, it might not look like you have that, so you might have to just find that third angle in order to be able to use law of sines. Okay, so from here, we're just going to cross multiply. So I have E sine of 111 is equal to 7.3 sine of 21. And so E is going to equal 7.3 sine 21 over sine 111. And notice I'm not putting anything in my calculator until the last step, and I just do it all as one problem. So 7.3 sine of 21, close the parentheses, divided by sine of 111. And that gives me E is 2.8, I think it was 00, something like that. Let me look. Yeah, or 2.802. So, oops, 2. So to the nearest tenth of a unit, that E would be, equal to 2.8. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here and watch the next video for the rest of the notes. I just want to make sure I get all of that part in one whole video. So I'll stop it here and just click on the next video for the rest of your notes. Thanks, guys.